making its return to Long Island at Laval Stadium on the campus of Stony Brook University as the top four seeds battle for the
Let's go.
I don't know.
Against UNC, the first game of the season, and they've earned that number 3 spot, and they definitely have a lot of star power between the two programs, two Tewaaraton winners.
Shelly Clace Balcom's roster. She feels that Kristen Gaudian was heavily under-recruited in the high school ranks, but her staff knew she had something special when Gaudian made her way to summer camp prior to her freshman.
Today in the draw control circle in the form of the senior two-time ACC Midi of the Year and Marie McCool, the draw control specialist for a North Carolina team looking to reach the championship game once again after missing out on championship weekend a year ago. It's a team, Sheehan, that's got so much motivation, so much star power. In their home white, they're the number 2 seed in this tournament, and the powder blue numbering as we are
Ball control is something we're going to talk about all game long. Possession is key, and North Carolina doing a great job just working the ball around.
McCool.
is huge. Even though they didn't win that first draw control, it's great when your defense can come up with a stop. A lot of nerves coming into this game. Huge stage.
Morgan Hart, 21 in purple, behind cage. Has given the Dukes the 1-0 lead.
The sideline is fired up, and that was an excellent first play for James Madison. Just one-on-one take. Haven does a great job getting her defender on her back.
So Haven with her 42nd goal. Once more for McCool and Gaudian.
We got to get the ball back, and JMU has done just that.
Hallie, this James Madison program making their second ever appearance in championship weekend. What has got to be the key today for the Dukes to make it to the national championship? And finally, North Carolina is going to have a chance to clear this one. But that plays into a good point.
Able to win it to herself. Beautiful save by Marino down on the other end. A great job reading. Levy's mouth is be patient attacking the JMU defense, especially when they're in zone, and also protect the inside cutter on defense. JMU was able to score just with a pure dodge, but make sure they match up, stick to 6 so no one's open inside. Really get players more open and create better spacing. And the sideline is loving it.
Ward
Even when they're not winning possession at the draw control.
and Warden now at the draw control circle against McCool. One of the three options for James Madison, but a draw control that is won by North Carolina. Hallie, this is an offense for the Tar Heels that is putting together records in terms of goals, assists, and points, but so far, early on, they've been stagnant with their possessions.
On the JMU offensive set, offensive coordinator Josh Dion, he brought his girls in, his attackers. He said, hey guys, I love you. Have fun. Calm down out there. I think he sees that they're just playing with a little JMU team. It's the only team this weekend here that really plays a zone and has utilized the zone all season long. North Carolina in the ACC.
Coming through, and check that, that's Katie Kerrigan with the goal, and James Madison. Team led by their head coach.
Excellent job defensively coming up with the turnovers, marking tight, then offensively finding the openings. Names that need to make sure that the rest of the defense is still locked in.
Talented players, including Maggie Bill, the junior, and yet as you see there, the
That's what they're forcing you to do. A lot of times these teams play zone defenses, hoping that you feed the ball inside and you can come up and
as North Carolina in their 6-on-6 set with James Madison. Wages works it back up top. McCool, the setup pass in front, and Ferrucci able to come through.
team before you can score goals in bunches. Just need to have a little bit extra composure.
Ferrucci with her 14. For an offense for North Carolina that ranks in the top 10 in scoring. As Warden and McCool back to the circle. And a chase to the end line will stay with North Carolina.
Guy that you want, try to take it one-on-one and try to draw a foul.
Team, let's start this second segment strong. All season long, this JMU team, they've divided each half into 3 segments. They just focus on 10 minutes
Kristen
being a non-factor so far, but players like Haven along with Warden really being able to step up in the absence. Great check on the far side of the field. And the ground ball stays with James Madison.
Love the fight for these 50-50 ground balls.
With the Dukes. And instead the turnover back to your shot, and that one just with the and the freshman star gets North Carolina within one.
.32 JMU.
Semifinal. Great significance.
stick stringing rules, those specifications, they changed in women's lacrosse. Among them, in my opinion, the most important was the inclusion of mesh. We see that in draw sticks more often than not. And you look at a player like Marie McCool, so dominant this year, breaks the single season.
Her second goal to answer the mini run by North Carolina. A 4-2 lead for Warden now, make that 39 goals for the senior from Glen Mills, Pennsylvania.
Just transpires to the rest of the team. 39 goal this season, second.
One of the true leaders for James Madison this year, effectively. The draw control for the Tar Heels. And won by James Madison.
But I mean, they started out the season outside the top 15. They beat UNC in that early February game, and people in the lacrosse world didn't know. Only one loss this year to Maryland, and they continue to beat teams 2 in a row. Virginia.
Clear coming up for North Carolina.
Marina's had some nice saves, especially non-stick side, seeing the
of the year, 66 goals on the season. this time because of the shot clock. And James
I know you've covered a lot of Maryland lacrosse, certainly the ACC action. North Carolina, they're a team. They pull it out in their free positions.
The rising stars, especially in the ACC this year, is going to be a strength for that attack unit for the next couple of by her vocal presence, but by also the way she's able to dictate the game to her players. It is really remarkable. Looking to answer as Ortega draws the slide, draws shooting space, and it will be another free position.
Still on top, it's 5-3.
Lead over North Carolina, due in large part she into that zone defense, really frustrating the Tar Heels.
The Tar Heels early on had a hard time feeding the ball inside. Good looks on Cage.
6 turnovers James Madison's defense has been able to force against North Carolina. We just saw prior to the timeout Ortega, the freshman out of Center Reach, New York, come up with her 60th or 68th goal of the season. The ACC Freshman of the Year. You take a
there's something different. When you make it to your senior year, you realize that your time is limited.
Midfielder of the year.
See the first yellow card of the game issued for a slash. Doesn't have to make body contact at any dangerous swiping motion. So JMU will be down a player for up to 2 minutes.
And that'll go again. Draws the slide. Set a pass in front. First national semifinal if James Madison is able to hold down North Carolina. Doherty comes up with the stop in front, but Hazar able to come up with the rebound to keep it with North. On this man up for North Carolina.
Got to react to the way the officials are playing this game. You're not allowed to push or displace your opponents if you're going to extend. You talked about this being an important possession, I think, for UNC offensively. It was a must that they needed to score on that man-up opportunity.
To a hot start. This is the first year she's been healthy and able to contribute in North Carolina.
Yeah, Hallie, there was a lot of problems. As James Madison awarded possession off the draw control. And now James Madison has been able to answer the
sending doubles to some of you, Kristen Gaudian being one. They're not sending doubles to all of you. So if they're not sending you a double, take it. Make them pay.
Adding the pressure on North Carolina's defense that has times faltered, especially within that 8-meter arc. As Haven on the right wing, looking to feed in front, trying to split a double team was a more youthful, inexperienced core, not only in the midfield unit, but also in the attack unit as well. It's the Tar Heels. That's
that no one's forcing shots, so we're looking for quality shots. Who's got the best matchup? Who's got the best opportunity?
And that was a drawn up play on the sideline. Assistant coach Colleen Shear, she usually has the reins in this game.
part of the narrative this year for James Madison. James Madison, which began this game on a 3-0 run, due in part to their senior Colonial this year, the bouncer in front to Marino, and North Carolina.
the net, seeing the openings. Marina's come up with some excellent saves, and that just, you got to give credit to Warden there.
An appearance in every year in her career. When you look at the senior
...2017, and then Defensive Player of the Year like she did in 2018.
Maggie Bill, 22 in white. As Hazard looking to feed.
So this sets her up. An excellent shooter.
James Madison, the number 3 seed. What a first half the senior Haley Warden is having here tonight in the
Of Kristen Gaudier, and they moved her now to Katie.
has as many goals as North Carolina. Scores thus far for North Carolina. Marie McCool, the 2-time ACC Midfielder of the Year. Circling towards the cage. That's
She's been sensational tonight. How big of an effect has she had on this team's performance? You're on a 4-goal lead, headed into the
great team right now.
best of luck.
Thank you.
Allie, one of the most passionate coaches you will see in the sport. A beautiful night at Stony Brook University, Laval Stadium, the site for the first of
has had a huge impact on, who I
NCAA history last year. You're on pace to break the career record, the career assists. I mean, the list goes on and on. What's the one record that you feel like is something you're most proud of?
It's like the bobblehead.
Great stuff.
Awesome.
You're the best.
Kark the bobblehead. I'll buy one for sure. James Madison with an 8-4 lead on North Carolina. Lacrosse is talking about the rematch of last year's national championship game and two players to keep our eye out for in this Boston College Maryland rematch.
They're another two Tewaaraton nominees. Sam Apuzzo having an amazing year, just a junior, huge factor on the draw control, and Megan Whittle has been tough to stop. No one's been able to contain her.
That's coming up, semifinal number 2, Boston College and Maryland. Meanwhile, can James Madison keep the magic going for another 30 minutes? Second half coming up from Stony Brook next. Stanwick Birch, John Brickley back with you. It was a first half really dictated early on by James Madison's offense. 3-0 to begin it. And Haley Warden was absolutely just unstoppable with her 4 goals in the first half for the Dukes.
She did a phenomenal job. We talked about her presence emotionally on the field, and she is putting up the numbers. Did a great job scoring. A lot of the focus is on Kristen Gaudian. UNC's Ortega also. They've had a hard time finding
James Madison, winner of this game, moving on to the national championship game coming up on Sunday on as we have noted, the narrative opportunities come to them. Warden and McCool back at the draw control circle. And it is Elena Romsberg coming up with the loose ground ball to set up the offense. Hart, who had a tally in that first half for James Madison, a number of scoring threats.
The body, not a great opportunity right there. Didn't have much of an angle. However, she'll get readjusted to a better
Set up pass.
Just deflect a piece of it. The shot clock is reset on that.
A 90-second possession shot clock. That one in front. And Marino once again from point-blank range makes the save.
That they maintain possession of the ball. Sometimes you see the ball being deflected off the keeper and then it becoming a dogfight in the front of the goal.
As Marino once again with the beautiful save in front. Now
Line right now, All-America, Elena Romsberg and Hannah Haven, two players you don't want getting that second yellow.
and now a loose ground ball goes back to North Carolina with 25 seconds. Paired individuals when it comes to game time.
She was just a star in high school. She came in the top attacker in the country, and you mentioned Notre Dame. I think that was known. She earned all rookie honors because she broke the NCAA tournament record for most goals in that tournament.
Check there.
From your vantage point, you're taking a look now and seeing a situation where the sun is starting to set on the field. How difficult is that for both of these goalies?
I mean, this entire game, I've had my folder over my eyes. It's tough to see down here.
A 9-5 advantage for James Madison as McCool quickly wins the
So often, you look at the draw numbers, and that translates to the scoreboard. That's not the case tonight.
Hogue circles around the crease. Number 4 for the freshman. It's been a battle between
and we're seeing this in the way she's scoring a lot of her goals, recognizing when she's alone defensively, using a little just great job of using her teammates to get open, and all she needs is her stick free. Her ability to catch inside under pressure is what we have seen in years past, Sheehan, too. Coach Levy does go at times with Marino has won the starting job the last
Tewaaraton finalist, making her presence felt here in this second half. Make that now 75 goals on the season for the senior out of Fairfax Station, Virginia.
And you mentioned it, UNC scores and JMU is able to answer. The senior 75th.
Chip, in terms of her program, has built over time, and that mentality that has been created year after year. So now shooting space, again awarded on a free position. We talked about executing the perfect game plan. A 3-0 start. Gaudy.
And I think what JMU's their success has just been defense came up huge. They're dancing now in their huddle. You can feel the energy.
A Dukes team that is 20-1 on the season. Here's the road as to how they got here with a number of convincing
really great team from Virginia. You're thinking about the University of Virginia and JMU. They won that title this year. And there's some great programs. Virginia Tech had an amazing season in the ACC. UVA proved tough to beat, but JMU beat them twice.
things. But it's always fun to see a new face here.
Would you
So
agree with
great.
that?
Yes, and I think that just JMU being from the CAA, not usually do you expect a CAA team to be in here, but when you
Going away just yet, the junior Kara Clagis answering the win, and McCool wins the draw. Push from behind.
see her rubbing her calf, hopefully just a cramp. It is some hotter temperatures than we've been used to in much of the Northeast.
Pennsylvania. Played her high school at Central Bucks West. More impressive than that, her GPA in college, a 3.0.
Very impressive, some of the scholar athletes here, what they've
NCAA.com, the official online home. But that is a key loss to this point momentarily, at least for the offense for James Madison. That's part of the great personality that Clays Bockham has with her players. You saw that in the pregame speech. You see that throughout the game as well. She understands the moment, but as well she understands the relationship and how key that is with her players. Bench for James Madison, 7 in purple, the freshman midfielder on the right wing. It's Haven that draws the slide from the Tar Heels defense. Haven looking to feed in front. Beautiful setup pass to Maddie McDaniel. And James Madison once again with an answer to the Tar Heels.
Heading shots, so when they've got them, Doherty stood strong.
As that sun, Hallie, continues to set here at Stony Brook University, the site of championship weekend. Doherty's sister, however, is going to have a little bit of a dilemma if it's James Madison and Boston College in the national championship, because her sister to lead the way for James Madison, the team that all the way back to the 25-yard line, but a reset for the Dukes offense. McDaniel, who had scored the last one for James Madison prior to the timeout. With possession, has a hat trick. Go back to Gaudian for just a moment, Sheehan. Orchestrated a hat trick in just over 5 minutes. That is how explosive of a score Kristen
shot just speaks to her amazing ability to put up the staggering numbers and the shooting percentage of over 65%. I mean, it's one thing if you have like 10 goals in the season, you're shooting 65%. When you're putting up over 100 shots and shooting like that, that's phenomenal.
Hallie, when you look at a performer and a player of Gaudian's capability, what stands out to you as why she's such an effective scorer? Between Apuzzo and Whittle. Beautiful passing in front, but Hennessy anticipating it from point blank. Finally is able to get it in transition for North Carolina. Kayla Wood. Looking for an answer. They have trailed this entire game as McCool. You can tell, Sheehan, from our vantage point, there is just simple frustration for North Carolina dealing with that zone defense of JMU.
They just had a hard time penetrating or taking better passing, really just more movement from inside. There's a lot of movement on the outside. As James Madison will take a timeout here. Last year, UNC knocked out by Navy, who made it to the Final Four. UNC was, they missed being at this final stage. They want to be back here. They want to be back in the championship game. They don't want to see their season end right now. The chance
of the season with McCool back at the draw control circle. And that has not been the problem for North Carolina. They've been able to own the advantage in terms of draw controls, but it's been able to break through that James Madison zone defense that's been one of the biggest struggles.
And then the turnovers. UNC's had some, turnovers that could have resulted in good shots that
one corralled by Haven, and a reset of shot for James Madison.
you can see her just a few moments ago, UNC really pressuring out defensively.
Hart, one of the captains on this team. More for North Carolina. Here's Gaudian, Tewaaraton finalist.
Employing right now. They're rotating into a little backer zone defense, switching in some man on man, and it's harder for JMU to I don't know. It's hard to tell. Let's see if we can see in the next replay if there's an extension of the arms or just holding.
Either way, James Madison with a chance to clear it against this pressure ride of North Carolina. Florida was able to get past the Gators to advance to championship weekend. Those 10 turnovers for North Carolina has been a haunting up for James Madison, and Hallie in this situation for
start using the clock to their advantage, sitting on this lead. But I think when you do that, you also fall into the possibility of playing with nerves, kind of sitting on this lead, knowing you have to produce when.
.22 seconds.
Welcome back to the campus of Stony Brook, where JMU has a 13-8 lead, and a lot of that reason is the performance of Kristen Gaudian in this second half. Fired in 3 goals, 8 meters, her dodging ability showcasing while she's one of the 5 Tuaraton Trophy nominees.
Had a hat trick in just over goals. Ground ball.
Tremendous effort by Maggie Bill. She had that errant pass, but then
down, looks to be Hazar for North Carolina.
that's non-releasable. We're not at that point yet.
It's one of the new Bill on the right wing. Good passing put together by North Carolina. Leaves a seam. That shot off the stick of Clages just nearly went in.
Check, and then the stick got tangled up.
Hazar on the free. McCool inside that 8-meter arc, eludes one defender. To set on Laval Stadium here on the campus of Stony Brook University. Wisconsin.
And North Carolina's going to want to be careful on the fouling like that. The time just continues to run. So that hard foul in the midfield slows down the transition, but it also ticks away about 10 seconds of time that they need.
Gaudian. Goal line extended on the left wing. Drawing the stick of Sofield. That's a great matchup to keep your eye on one-on-one. Kerrigan around the crease, looking to feed. 30 left on the possession clock for James Madison. Looking to go to their first national championship game in program history. Madison is starting to feel a spot to the championship game on Sunday.
40. Haven rips at the bouncer. That is a very tough goal for the goalie to stop. Watch the placement of this bounce. Is high in that goal crease, but then touches the net top right corner.
Still to come, semifinal number 2, the rematch of last. Doorstep with the goal for North Carolina.
On that offensive set, it was a crucial goal that they scored in. They didn't just feed it into
Her parents, Kevin and Paula, in the stands. Dagger for North Carolina. Clear here tonight in the first of 2 semifinals.
and each step of the way they're erasing any doubters if there are any left out there. Ranked outside the top 15, earn a number 3 seed to the NCAA tournament, have won their way.
Foul James Madison really put them on the radar as a team to be continued. Battle to the end line, quickly out of the restart for North Carolina as Ferrucci program history. Pressure defense applied, far side of the field.
The season back in February when JMU beat UNC in overtime.
To come to fruition. Meanwhile, for North her 61st goal of the season, that school record, 155 draw control.
A penalty and they would get possession. So they'll go through a checklist of different items. Yellow card. So the coach is a coaching move. It's a good move to take because it could give you in a position.
Back to possession for James Madison as the seconds tick away. Incredible win in double overtime against North Carolina. They ran through the Colonial, reached championship weekend for the second time in program history, and now, for the first time ever, the Dukes are heading to the national championship game after knocking off North Carolina to keep the Dream season alive.
Smile. You can't take the smiles off their faces now. What a win. Really, they dominated. UNC was never really within striking distance for much of the, after we got out for much of the first part of that half.
Championship game awaiting the winner of the Terps and the Eagles as the Dukes Boston College and Maryland coming up in 40 minutes from now.